Thursdays, we've been going through the attributes of God, trying to understand who God is and how he works in our lives. Another great study to know our God better would be to go through the names of God. There are a lot of names of God in the Bible. For example, there is El Roi, which means the God who sees. There is El Shaddai, which means God Almighty. There is Jehovah Jireh, meaning the Lord will provide. We find that one in Genesis 22. In that chapter, God tested Abraham. He asked him to go up Mount Moriah and sacrifice his son. And just as Abraham had the knife ready to go into his son, the Lord stopped him. And then we read this. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of the place, "The Lord will provide." And it is said to this day, "On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided." And that's fascinating because on Mount Moriah, the temple was set up where all the sacrifices were offered. And it was on Mount Moriah that Jesus Christ was sacrificed. So the final sacrifice was offered there. God indeed did provide. Another great word is Jehovah Rapha, which means the Lord heals. And I'd like to draw your attention to that one this morning. We find that name for God in Exodus 15 in verses 22 and following. You wouldn't know it at first reading through the passage, but when you get to the end of the passage, it becomes clear that God is showing that he is the healer of his people. This is what we read in Exodus